this is Rebecca with Atmosphere Fitness and TotallyStokedFitness.com, our blog, and I'm here today to show you some myofascial release techniques for aerialists and pole dancers. So some of the areas that we get the tightest in are in our pecs and our lats, and so we're going to show you some things you can do to help relieve these areas and get in so you can release some of the tension in there. So the first thing I'm going to show you is with the lats. And we're going to work on a myofascial release technique with the foam roller. So what we want to do is start at the point of origin with the lats and work our way up into the insertion point, which is right up here, coming around, wrapping into the shoulder. You want to get on the foam roller and you want to put enough pressure that you feel it, not too much that you're crushing anything. And we start to roll ourselves down and roll up that lat. When you come across an area that's tight, or maybe you feel a knot or some pressure, you're actually just going to sit there and let that pressure release. It might take 30 seconds, it might take 90 seconds, and we end up rolling all the way up to the top. We don't want to roll over joints or any place that hurts way too much. We want to be on muscle primarily. The other way to do this is with a tennis ball, and you can do that same thing. You can do it with your hand, or you can set the tennis ball on the ground and roll across. It's a little bit more intense. It's going to pinpoint in that area. The other thing you can do too is just hand work in there. So I actually grab and find the tight spots. I found with aerial arts and pole, most of us have tight spots in the wings, as I like to call them, and you'll feel those knots in there, and we'll give them a little release that way. The next area we're going to focus on is the chest. So we go from the point of origin at the sternum out into the shoulder area to the insertion point. So we're going to get on that foam roller and you're going to find where you need to be. I usually need the upper part, that's where I need it the most. And I'm going to roll out that direction. And again, if you find any tight places, any knots, you want to hold there until those knots release. I think overall the chest is a little easier to do with a tennis ball, and you roll out. Also with the hands, if you have some real tight spots going on in that armpit area, you can again go in with the hands and find those places, still working out toward that insertion point and get some release in there. The final area we're going to talk about is the rhomboid knot. Sometimes we call it the scapula knot. You get it a lot in pole. So it's this area that's between the spine and the shoulder blade. Our rhomboid runs up there, so do our trap muscles. Frequently, this muscle will get really tight and get knotted and actually lock the range of motion in the scapula. And so we want to go in there and release it. You can do it with your hand. You can also use the tennis ball and run that tennis ball in that area. What I will say about the scapula knot is that usually has to do with tight lats and tight pecs. So you need to get these areas open before we work into releasing the rhomboids. Thanks for watching. We're at AtmosphereFitness.com and TotallyStokedFitness.